We have reached the great crossroads. Humanity is awakening. And all of you that have played your part in standing up to the censors, standing up to the bullies, and spreading the word are at the heart of this new renaissance. That's why, for myself and the entire InfoWars crew, I want to salute you all for what you've done in the information war and what you've also done on the streets peacefully. And why I'm asking you now more than ever to redouble your efforts, because victory is within sight.
We see what they're doing. We understand that this is an engineered coup by the establishment, the political establishment, the media establishment, to subvert this election. We understand what's going on. You better not try it. And I want to talk a little bit here about John McAfee, because he was going to be our guest tomorrow. I wanted to have him on because he's been very vocal. About a week ago, he was saying that he planned to destroy Google. Interesting. He said he's got a box called Sentinel to do it. But I want you to hear what he said about Google, because you need to start to understand what this is all really about. Just as I was talking in the last segment about the fact that it's the metadata that they want more than anything. They can piece this together to give them a picture of who you are and what you're doing. And of course, if they don't get it right, that could be a life-destroying designation. We see what's happening with the police, trigger-happy, trained in a shoot-first curriculum. What if they come out and they are told that you are a wanted suspect because the AI failed? That's something that you should really be concerned about. But also, let's understand where this is coming from. As John McAfee said last week, he said, if you believe that Google is not harmful, then you must believe that the total loss of our privacy and our human dignity is not harmful. What's under his skin is the reduction of humanity to Google profiles. I say, we're not numbers. He said, I'm not a statistic. I'm not a collection of attitudes and desires. I'm a human being with my own dreams, my own hopes, my own problems. By making me a number, you have removed my dignity. And he says Google has taken the mantle of corporate conscience and they've sacrificed it on the altar of mammon for money. He said this company that is famous for its motto, don't be evil, said corruption in power does not come in a flash. It comes slowly, it creeps. And as it creeps, the better instincts of the human animal are moved away from power itself by money and by influence. And so that was what he was saying a week ago. And then we also had him talking about Bitcoin. He believes that Bitcoin is going to go through the roof. He said, no matter how much government and regulators may scream and complain, he said, there'll be a world standard alternative currency. He said, Bitcoin appears to be the one. It cannot possibly be a bubble. He had tweeted out that he thought that Bitcoin was going to reach a minimum of $500,000 within 3 years. And he said the reason for this, he said, I have a doctorate in point set topology. It predicts Bitcoin at over $2.5 million in 3 years. Other math systems predict it between 1.9 and $2.6 million. And so he came with a conservative estimate of $500,000. So he's been making some statements I think are very interesting about the freedom of our currency, but also about our privacy. And what I was just talking about with cars, with the collectivization of cars and the control that comes with it. You have to understand that if they are able to take the human driver out of the car, they're able to reduce you to a controllable number. They can control your very movement. That is a very dangerous thing. And we all need to be aware of what is happening with this as they mandate these vehicle-to-vehicle boxes that are going to be talking between different cars so they can platoon, so they can drive very rapidly, very close to each other. The car in front is passing information to all the other cars, and they react instantly to that. Well, fine, except that they can't do that with humans on the highway. It is going to be their way or no highway for you. So that's what's going to happen with this. And that's going to give them complete control over our transportation. And if you think that's a good thing, just look at what's going on in the places where transportation is completely controlled by the government. New York City, for example. This last weekend, we had de Blasio, and he's ordering the police to clear the homeless out of the subways because the subways are a mess in New York. And so we've got the Democrat governor of New York versus the Democrat mayor of New York City, and they're at war with each other, and they're saying, well, you know, this guy's got the money and he's not using it, And so the governor and the head of the Metropolitan Transit Association were blaming the mayor of New York City, saying he's got $4 billion and he's not using it to fix the subway. Meanwhile, he says, well, the state's got $2.5 billion of our money and they're not using it to fix. None of them are doing anything about it. But they want the control. And they don't want to fix the roads because why? They don't want to enlarge the roads. They don't want cars in their cities. They don't want drivers controlling the cars. It's a question of control. Just like they want complete control over your health care. This is part of UN Agenda 21, keeping us in the city so that we don't even have the ability to drive out of the city without having to go through their transportation system. It's completely taking this over. So John McAfee is absolutely right. That's why I want to talk to him as soon as he can. But this is what happened. Just over this weekend, I tweeted out, I said, John McAfee was supposed to come on the show with me tomorrow, just verified that he was attacked. And we saw this being put out on his Twitter account. His wife said, my husband is still breathing. And she said, McAfee remembers, tell them that winter is coming. You left the wolf alive. You sheep will never be safe. So I thought, that's kind of strange. And I remembered that a few days earlier, he had tweeted out this picture, if you guys can pull that up. It's a picture of John McAfee and his wife, and in the background is a third individual. It's kind of staring forward, looking a little bit sinister, and he says, I need help identifying the man over my shoulder. So I contacted him and I said, are you okay to come on the show? Are you going to be able to come on? And he sent me back a cryptic message. I tweeted this out on my Twitter account, Libertarian. He said, Belize is again attempting to silence me, but I will not be silenced. So we wish the best to John McAfee. Very interesting character, but he is very outspoken and very right about privacy. And let me tell you something. The John McAfees of this world are the ones that are going to protect our freedoms, not people like Jeff Sessions. We need to stop putting our faith in the politicians who have created the system, who have allowed it to exist, who turn their eyes the other way when the Constitution is violated, who take an oath to the Constitution and then ignore it. It's going to be the people like John McAfee. It's going to be the people like Julian Assange at WikiLeaks that are going to tell us the truth, that are going to fight this. That's the thing that is really, truly important about this.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.